We're losing cabin pressure.
Can you control it?
I can't control it.
Bring out oxygen interval.
First officer's on. Engineer's on. Okay, we're done rapid descent. Passenger masks are out. I can't control the cabin pressure. Kansas City Center, TWA 137 is executing a rapid descent, relieving 35,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the seatbelt no smoking sign and make sure your oxygen masks are on. We are descending to a lower altitude. We'll be talking to you shortly. Everything is under control.
TWA 137 is requesting 12,000. 12,000. Thank you. And we're out at 250.
The scene you just saw was a simulation of a decompression that actually happened and was caused by a lost cargo door seal. The flight eventually leveled off at 12,000 feet and landed at MCI. Emergencies are infrequent, but they do happen, and because they happen, we must be ready for any emergency that may arise. This videotape will review the emergency equipment and procedures of the 1011 aircraft. Now, we just saw a decompression, so let's take a look at the crew and passenger oxygen systems.
The crew oxygen cylinder is located forward of the engineer station, and the high pressure gauge indicates the bottle pressure. The shutoff valve is turned on at origin point and turned off at termination point. With the valve on, oxygen is supplied to each crew station. All 5 regulators are diluter demand type. The low pressure gauge on each regulator should indicate approximately the same pressure reading as the other 4. Each crew member is required to pre-flight his own oxygen system. The green blowout disc is located on the fuselage below the first officer's window. The passenger oxygen flow indicator is located on the flight engineer's panel, and the oxygen flow light will come on when the system has been activated and oxygen is being generated. For manual operation, the switch is held for 15 seconds. This ensures 2 full cycles to activate passenger masks. Passenger oxygen masks are located in each PSU, and each seat group has an extra mask. The mask will automatically deploy at 13,000 feet cabin altitude. An electrical impulse starts a chemical reaction within the oxygen generator, and flow to the mask is automatic. In other words, the masks do not have to be pulled down by the passenger to start a flow of oxygen.
A simple but very effective oxygen system. Now let's take a look at the normal and emergency cabin door operation. First, we'll take a look at the outside door opening.
The 1011 has 8 doors, 4 on each side, and they are numbered front to rear, 1 through 4, both left and right. The main cabin doors are normally opened and closed electrically from inside the aircraft, but they can also be operated electrically from the outside. The outside controls are located forward of the door. To open the door electrically, raise the switch cover and push up on the electric switch until the door is fully open. If this doesn't work, continue to hold the switch in the up position. To avoid going beyond the first detemp position, pull the T-handle down slowly until the door starts to move electrically. If there is no electrical power to the aircraft, the doors may be opened manually by pulling the T-handle to its full down position. This last procedure should be used as a last resort to avoid wear on the door system. Before going inside, stow the T-handle and switch cover. Also, stow the T-handle on the inside. All inside door operating panels are forward of the doors. There are 3 items on this panel that control the door and evacuation slide. First, the T-handle is used to open the door manually or deploy the slide in an emergency. Next, a slide selector lever that is used to detach or engage the girt bar to the floor brackets and the electrical switches that are used to open and close the doors for normal operation. To close the door, the first thing to do is place the slide selector lever to the engaged position. This movement does two things. It provides electrical power to the close switch, and the girt bar retainers on each side of the door lift up in order to engage and secure the slide girt bar to the floor brackets as the door closes. To close the door, press the close switch and hold until the door is fully closed. As the door closes, the slide girt bar should engage under both retainers. Check each side to be sure. The evacuation slide is now armed for an emergency. To disarm the evacuation slide for normal door opening, place the evacuation slide selector lever to the detached position. This will lower the retainers, detaching the girt bar so the door can be open without deploying the slide. Check that the girt bar retainers are down and flush with the floor. After detaching the girt bar, the door may now be open. With the slide selector lever in detach, electrical power is provided to the door open switch. Press the open switch and hold until the door is fully open. The door safety strap is located in the door frame. It is not visible until the door is open. To use the strap, pull it across the door opening and attach it to the fitting.
The number 4 doors are slightly different than doors 1 through 3. They do not have electrical power switches and can only be operated manually. They are only used as emergency exits.
Let's watch an emergency door and slide operation of a main cabin door. The door is closed, the slide selector lever is in the engaged position, and the girt bar retainer levers are up. The door is armed and ready for an evacuation. The evacuation alarm sounds. For emergency operation, first, evaluate outside conditions through the prismatic window in the door. If clear, check that the evacuation slide selector is in the engaged position. Remove the plastic cover, stand clear of the door, and pull the emergency T-handle down in one rapid motion. Hold the handle down until the door is fully open. Powerful springs snap the door inward and up into the overhead, so stand clear. If the slide does not inflate automatically, stand to the side of the door opening, hold on, and jerk the manual inflation handle located on the slide girt. The correct method for using a slide is to jump into the slide in a seated position. The first people down the slide should be instructed to remain at the bottom of the slide to assist people off and away from the slide. The slide, or slide raft, can be used for flotation. First, the passengers are loaded, and then the crew member boards. This arrow points to the Velcro seam that is pulled back to expose this separation handle. Pull the separation handle to release the slide raft from the door sill. The slide raft is still attached to the aircraft by a mooring line that can be disconnected by pulling the quick disconnect tab. If the aircraft should sink before you could disconnect, this automatic disconnect would break prior to doing damage to the slide raft.
In an emergency, the cockpit crew would normally exit through the cockpit door into the cabin to assume their duty stations and then out through a passenger door. But should the cockpit door be blocked, there's an alternate escape route up here above the first ACM seat, and a ladder provides access to that hatch. Directly below the hatch are 5 inertia reels. To use an inertia reel, pull it out, open the escape hatch, climb up the ladder, and then descend.
The arresting action of the reel is so gradual that you won't feel any sensation of a jerk. The hatch is near the aircraft center line, so you can descend on either side. The pitot tubes are directly below the exit, so stay forward in the exit. You can have confidence in the inertia reel. It will lower you to the ground with about the same impact you would get from a jump of 3 or 4 feet. There is almost no danger of being cut by the steel tapes because you have no reason to grab one, and there is no tension on them as they hang slack. An evacuation alarm panel is located in the cockpit, aft of each cabin door, and in the lower galley. The evacuation alarm can be activated from any station. To activate the alarm, raise the guard and push the command switch. The light illuminates and the alarm sounds at each station. Once the alarm is received, each station may be silenced separately to reduce confusion and improve passenger control. Simply press the horn shutoff button. Emergency lights are located in the cockpit, over the aisle at each door, over each cabin door control panel, in the ceiling, over the aisleways, and outside each cabin door. All emergency lights come on automatically with the failure of DC essential power. The lights may also be turned on by a switch in the cockpit or at the L1 flight attendant station, the L4 flight attendant station, and in the lower galley on some later model aircraft. The galley is located below the number 2 door area. Access to the galley is through dual lifts located in Service Center number 2. The lifts are designed to transport one person or one serving cart at a time. To operate the lift, both the Service Center and lower galley lift doors must be closed. Green light indicates the lift is available for use at that door. Control of the lifts can be accomplished at this external switch plate. To operate, push the appropriate up or down switch. A similar panel is located in the lower galley. These switches are used when transporting carts. The lifts can also be operated from the inside to transport crew members. Step in and close the door. Grasp the handles and move each switch in the desired direction of travel, and hold until the lift comes to a stop. If you release either switch, the lift will stop. The normal exit from the galley is the lifts. When the lifts are at the galley level and there is no electrical power, the lift escape hatch can be used to escape to the main cabin. Pull down on the stirrup, grasp the assist handle, and climb up on the stirrup and table. Push up on the hinge top of the lift and lift yourself up. Open the door and walk out into the service center. The galley service door, located on the right side of the lower galley, is an inward opening plug-type door. To open the door, move the door control lever to the unlock position and lift the door until it is locked to the ceiling. To close the door, push up on the door, release the ceiling catch, and allow the door to close. To lock the door, step on the bottom of the door and move the door control lever to the lock position. Another escape route is the hatch located directly above the galley service door. Climb up on the table in order to reach the hatch. Unlatch the lock and push up on the hatch and climb through. You will come out just forward of the R2 door. If the galley has been evacuated due to smoke or other reasons, the galley can be observed through the glass in the lift doors. Portable equipment is located on the flight deck and throughout the cabin. Latest information on specific equipment locations is on the diagram on the cockpit door and in your handbook. As a crew member, you may be called upon to react in an emergency situation without advance notice. To be ready for this task, you should frequently review 1011 emergency equipment and procedures. This will ensure that you will react quickly and correctly in an emergency situation.